Hi there, my name is Channing and welcome to my very first YouTube video. I am currently in Southern California, where for the last couple of weeks we've been on shelter in place, safer at home, kind of quarantine mandate from the state of California in the midst of the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic that's going on around the world. And so I was just really inspired by some reflecting and just kind of my experience the last couple of weeks having been at home. Fortunately, I have been able to work from home these last couple of weeks and just kind of thinking of what's been making my life a little bit easier. This is Lewis, but yeah, he's our little guest for today. So some things that have been really helping me kind of get through the, big change of working at home was kind of incorporating a more get ready in the morning kind of routine that I would do on a normal day, just to kind of keep me motivated and get me in the mindset of, I'm going to work for the day. So a couple of those things have been, showering, doing my hair, getting, ready, putting on some makeup, especially for when I'm on some video conferencing calls with some coworkers or clients or vendors or anything like that. If they're gonna be seeing my face, just kind of looking a little bit more presentable, and that's just lifted my spirits a little bit. So I thought it'd be really fun to make a quick little tutorial type video, talk through just a really short routine that I've been doing to, make myself feel a little bit better. And like I said, just, get a little bit more presentable while I'm working from home. So the products that I'm gonna be using today are on the cleaner, more non-toxic side. I've just been recently kind of transitioning my skincare and makeup to more cleaner, non-toxic products. So those are the products that I have here. But I mean, if you're following along, feel free to use anything that you have. By no means, do you need to go out and buy any of these products. I know times are really uncertain and these are just not a necessity. But so if you had any questions on why everything maybe, if you hadn't recognized these products, or if everything was a little bit cleaner, non-toxic, you hadn't seen them before, that's why. So let's go ahead and get started. I went ahead and moisturized my face. I always put this on in the morning. It's the Weleda Skin Food in the lighter formula. Really great if you have combination to oily skin. Everybody's raving about this, but the original formula is a little bit too heavy and makes me break out. So just a little note on that. And so normally what I start with is I actually go in with concealer first on the places that I need to have a little bit more coverage. And this is the Ilia True Skin Serum Concealer. And I always go in just a little under my eyes, in between my eyebrows, down and around my nose, and on my chin to start. And I don't know if I said that what shade I was in this. This is SC2 Yucca. Then I just take a blending sponge. Feel free to use, your fingers or a face brush, foundation brush of your choosing. I personally am into sponges right now. From time to time, I'll go ahead and mix it up, but I've just been using the sponge. So one technique that I use with the concealer is I actually leave this on a little bit longer while I finish the rest of my base application. I find that it gives me a little bit more coverage, and the creasing actually is a lot more minimal when I do it this way. So I just kind of leave it on for a couple extra minutes while I put on my base. And the base that I've been using is the Thrive Causemetics CC cream. It's a little bit strange to see right now because of the reflection, but it's the Buildable Blur CC cream with SPF 35, and I'm in the shade medium beige. And with this technique of putting on the concealer first, I find that just like, a half a pump plus like a touch more is exactly what I need. And I just apply it straight on with my fingers, and I'll go in and kind of blend it out a little bit more once I'm done with everything. And I just apply it like I would, moisturizer, tinted moisturizer. And so since I already put on the concealer, the places where I would need a lot more coverage is already, for the most part covered up, and this is kind of like a supplement to it. So you don't really need a whole lot, and from time to time I like to let my freckles shine through. And right now, since we're all at home, what better time to kind of let your skin breathe if you're having, some problem areas or some breakouts, anything like that. So now that that is all on and blended in, just, quickly go through all of like the edge areas with the sponge, and then I'll blend out that under eye concealer. And I'm typically not a radiant finish kind of girl because my skin is oily, but I really like the finish, which is a little bit more on the radiant side of the concealer, especially under the eyes, because it gives you that brightening effect without having to go in too light of a shade. And I typically would set with like a little bit of powder, but I'm not gonna do that today. The weather's, you know, permitting it, and also, you know, not around a ton of people, so if I crease a little bit, not that big of a deal. And so I'm gonna go in with my eyeshadow, and I've been doing a really just simple look. I actually, you know, do something very similar to this just on the daily anyways, but it's just, you know, a little bit of shadow in the crease of the eye to give a little bit of definition, and I've been really liking the Well People Nudist 1 palette to do that. And I've just been taking the cream shade and doing like an all over wash as a base just to neutralize any of the discoloration on my eyelids. And I'm also not using primer here because if it creases just a little bit, you know, if I'm video conferencing anybody, they won't be able to tell. And again, it's just me all over with that. So just a really nice light toned. It helps just give a little bit of brightness and lift to the eye. And then I've been going in with this like cooler mid-tone brown here and putting that as like the shadow color in my crease for a little bit of definition. And you can see I only used one eyeshadow brush for the whole thing. It's just, I really like this base shadow brush from Real Techniques because it's a really good multi-purpose, and with lighter colors like this, you know, using the same brush just kind of saves your tools. Don't have to wash as many, and it's really, these are just really easy to work with, the shadows and with the brush combined. And then I personally really like wearing eyeliner, but you know, I haven't been going crazy and doing anything difficult, so I just put on a little bit of shadow liner, and I've been using this warmer brown shade to define my lash line on the days that I've been putting on makeup these last couple of weeks. And so, you know, you could barely tell, and it's nice because you don't have to be super precise. You can be just a little bit messy, and if it looks a little wonky, you wouldn't even be able to tell. Awesome. So before I finish off with mascara, I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows. Kind of give them a little bit of volume, toss them up a little bit, and just go in with the spoolie and brush them up. And when I started transitioning my makeup to cleaner products, I was really excited to try out eyebrow products. I love, you know, having my brows, I guess, on or doing my eyebrows, so I was really excited to try the Eco Brow Defining Wax Pomade. I'm in the shade Penelope, and it's super similar, probably an exact dupe for the Anastasia Dip Brow, which I hadn't tried before, but I was always really curious to do, which is why this product really piqued my interest. And I like it because a little bit goes a long way with this product. And it's not, I found that it's not as intimidating of a brow product as I had anticipated, which is probably why I hadn't really sprung for it a little bit sooner. But I just fill in my brows really quick, and I typically start in like the middle, work out to the latter part of my brow. So just quickly go through my brows. Whatever product is left on the brush when I finish that like middle outer half, if I need to pick up a little bit more, I will, but normally I don't need too much. And I just finish kind of stroking through the front part of my brow just so it doesn't look like I have any bald spots, but you don't need a lot of product up in that area if you're not going for like a bolder look. All right, so those are the brows right now. Gonna go back in with another brush with the spoolie, and you can use any spoolie. This is just on the back of a eyebrow product that I had been using for a while. And you know, if your brows aren't perfect at this time, which not super happy with how these are looking, but that is totally okay. That's been kind of that's been kind of the story the last couple times I've done my makeup. And I just kind of go through with a like gel. This is like a gel pomade. This is one of the products that actually isn't clean that I haven't transitioned over yet, but just to set it, feel free to skip this step, but I just always do it. Just to set it and brush everything up to give it a little bit more of a fuller look. So now that the brows are done, I'm gonna go in with like a coat or two of mascara, and I am using the Tarte Lights Camera Flashes. This is a really, really great volumizing mascara, which is exactly what I look for in my mascaras in general. I'm excited to try some different clean options for volumizing mascara to see if there's any good dupes. But you know, even before I was into clean beauty and skincare, I actually always really liked this formula anyways, so it's nice that it's a little bit less toxic than some of the others. So I've just continued to use it and had this fun little travel size to take with me. And I only just put like a little bit on my bottom lashes. And so sometimes, since the conference call connection isn't that great, I've been not putting anything under my eyes to avoid my eyes looking from, you know, too tired and kind of sunken in. So I'm gonna finish up the rest of the face and put on some bronzer and some blush. And I really like cream bronzers and blushes, and so this Milk Makeup cream bronzer in the shade Blaze has been a favorite for, you know, for most of last year. I had my eye on it for a really long time, and I'm really happy that that I finally decided to pull the trigger and get it, because it's super blendable. It's really easy, and it's a really nice color. I would find that you know, this could work on a lot of different skin tones because it's pretty buildable, but it's just a really nice warm brown shade. And so I actually haven't gone in and done like my blemish concealing. I actually usually wait until I'm done with the rest of my base, and I'll kind of explain why in a little bit. So just adding a little bit of warmth to the face. You know, I drew it on directly from the stick, but sometimes I'll just grab it with the brush too. And it's just a really nice kind of all over warmth. Makes you look like you've been tanning while you've been working or stuck inside. And then I really love the Honest Beauty cream blushes. The one that I'm using today is from their older packaging, so I don't think that they even make this color anymore, but it's like a bright pink. I just really love their formula, so I've been taking care of the colors that I had that they didn't re-release with their new packaging, so I can continue to use them until I start using their newer ones, I guess. But I just take a stippling brush. This is the Real Techniques one, and I just blend that in, focusing on the apples of my cheeks to brighten up my face. I like the bright colors, not just because it's spring, but it brightens up my face a little bit more. And sometimes if I feel like I look a little bit more awake, I maybe feel a little bit more awake, if that makes sense. It's probably a total placebo effect, but sometimes it works. And then this is the Eco Tools bronzing and blending brush, in case you were curious. Okay, so I always go in last with my blemish concealing, and I just take that same Ilia concealer. And so the reason why I wait until after I put on my blush and my bronzer, I see, you know, what is still, you know, needing to be covered up. Because sometimes I find that if I put it on earlier in my routine, then it gets wiped away with all the rest of like the face application. And another kind of tip, I mean, it could just be me, but something that I notice is if I put it on and then I actually use either like my blush brush or my bronzer brush to blend it in, all of the colors mix that are already on my skin with like the blush and the bronzer. They mix well with the concealer color and actually blend it in just a little bit better, rather than just there being like, you know, a concealer spot of makeup, you know, just right on top of everything. So So I went in and kind of just spot concealed, put some on my hand. I'll go in and I will touch up with just a little bit more blush in case I took anything away when I was spot concealing, and blend all of that back in. And you know, with cream products, they're a little bit more flexible, a little bit more forgiving. So, you know, it shouldn't take that long. And again, you know, if you're just at home or you're doing some video calls, the connection isn't typically, you know, super clear, so you could totally get away with it. And then if you had a couple of extra minutes or wanted just a little bit of an extra something, I've been adding some highlighter. It's something that I've just been kind of adding just to make it a little bit more fun. And I've really been enjoying the Ilia Liquid Light Serum highlighter. This brand has a lot of really great like cream liquid products. And so this is in the shade Nova, and I just put it on the back of my hand and just highlight some of the higher points with my finger. I played around with this product quite a bit, and I found that my finger is the best way to apply it. For me personally, applying it with the sponge or a brush has made it kind of patchy. And I don't know if it has anything to do with like the warmth of my fingers to make it a little bit easier to blend. Tops of the cheekbone, sometimes I'll, you know, I have some blemishes right now, so I won't put any up there, but typically I like to, you know, bring the concealer and do like this little kind of backward C shape on my cheekbone and then up into my eyebrow. And then down at the top of my nose. And typically I'll do the Cupid's bow too, but since this is a really laid back look, I'm gonna skip it for today. And then I just finish it off with some lip balm. And this one's a tinted lip balm from Kosa. It's it's the Kosasport in the shade Pulse. And I like it because it's definitely a chapstick, super lightweight and moisturizing, but just a little bit of color, as you can see. Actually apply this, you know, on and off throughout the day, and it doesn't feel like I'm getting, you know, a ton of color or just like building up a ton of, you know, tint on my lips all day. The skin on my lips actually stays really moisturized throughout the day, so I've been really enjoying that, and I want to try some other colors and maybe even get like the original formula as just an everyday lip balm. All right, so after putting on that lip balm, this completes the look. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching. I hope you learned a couple of different things. I hope it encouraged you and inspired you to do something a little bit different and new, just to add into your daily routine while we're gonna be at home for a little bit. So I'm really excited to have been able to do this for you. I hope to come back on YouTube on this channel and kind of talk a little bit more about products, have a little bit of fun, kind of help pass the time while we're gonna be at home for a little bit. So thank you so much for watching, and I really appreciate it, and I will see you next time. Thanks, bye.